What's up, guys? Welcome back to Epicenter qualifiers. This is the winner bracket finals. Team Secret going up against Navi. Game 2, as Team Secret currently hold a 1-game lead. A super back and forth, super even game in Game 1. We'll see what's going to change here in the second game. I'm Mike Loris, going to be joined by Kefka. And dude, that was some Game 1. Team Secret decided to ban out the Darkseer first phase and pick up the Tree and Protector for themselves, who was previously in that Darkseer ban slot.
10 seconds remaining.
Yeah, I'm actually super surprised by how the draft opened, because I expected a Tusk first ban from Navi. Oh my god, they're dropping so fast. Team Secret went the trend like you mentioned. Navi countered with Magnus CM. CM has been very popular, and Navi gonna go with another attempt in the Magnus. I'm kind of thinking it's gonna be General this time. And Secret gonna go with Yapsor's probably best hero after Tusk. Let's make that his best hero now after these few games he's played on it. And it's pretty good against Magnus. It forces Magnus to think more about how he plays, which is always something that's nice. And then you can also steal freezing field, which we saw last game, I think, actually. So which did a lot of impact in that fight. So a bit of a new draft, and we're gonna see if Navi adapts a bit better, maybe, to Secret's draft.
There's definitely a set of support heroes that, if MP has at all an aggressive slanted hero, that they could apply some of that pressure towards that safe lane. Like, unlike a CM, Rubik can actually lane decently from the very early onsets. Tree and Protector as well, very, very assertive in his harassment, compared to Tusk, who typically tends to be a little bit more passive, just doesn't have as much damage. Of course, doesn't have that Leech Seed nor the element of surprise from the invisibility, so it does open up Secret's lanes a little bit as to how they want to run things. It does seem like for Secret, MP is usually getting the short end of the stick. I don't know if it's just the games I've seen, but they typically tend to get MP a little bit underfarmed because they're trying to use him very offensively early on to try to stop something that the enemies are trying to pull off. And again, this opening is definitely conducive to that. But for Navi, Magnus, Crystal Maiden, now the Tusk banned out. It's about time the Tusk is receiving some hate. I think that hero is actually kind of broken right now. But either way, CM Magnus, definitely a very generic opening for Navi. And as you said, General maybe playing the Magnus here, but the beauty of Magnus, especially with Navi, is that they could really give him to anyone for any role.
Yeah, it's a pretty versatile hero, or relatively versatile at least, and it's also kind of nice with CM when you put it offlane, so you kind of have more spam ability. So you, like when you're mid, you can go bottle, so you're like getting maroons and you can kind of sustain well. But on offlane, you're like, I can't actually spam shockwave for last hits, but Crystal Maiden helps a lot with that. And they're gonna go with Ogre. This is not the most common hero. It's seen here and there, but definitely not as common as it once was. But it's still pretty strong. I'm not sure if it's like certain matchup, like let's say Ogre kind of wrecks Treant in a roaming matchup, as in like Treant can't really kill people when Ogre is even close. One big thing though, which I think is the main thing actually about what Ogre can abuse, is that Treant is garbage at helping mid, because there's no trees, in the mid lane. There's nothing to actually hit people from, and Ogre is actually one of the best, if not the best, mid zoning hero. He is very tanky. He can actually just start right clicking under the tower, and he's like, well, I'm gonna regen this and have my 6 armor, I think it is, so it doesn't really matter. So that's a nice advantage now we're gonna get. So that's also why I think it's gonna be an offlane Mag, because you don't wanna give Mag that much space generally. Like, it's better to give it to another hero that skills better.
The Ogre Magi also have that Ignite, try to cut through that Tree and Protector living armor, and together with the Crystal Maiden, sums up to a very deadly roaming duo when they actually have level 3, level 4 on the CM. Just so much lockdown, so much sticking power. Team Secret, though, they're going to look to get some disengage power, unless they decide to throw a curveball here. This is looking like it's going to be an off-lane shaker here for Team Secret, or a safe lane shaker with an offensive tri-lane. It does seem like that is perfectly viable here as well. What are your thoughts on the shaker? I think this hero is definitely situational, but if you expect the enemy side to be going for a bunch of melee heroes or a Tusk, or it seems like this strategy, like this steroid type plan, I think this is an all-star pick.
I mean, the hero is great, but the problem is getting the blink in time. That's like his main issue. That's almost always been, I think. And I'm always worried when I see this hero. I love playing the hero. It's so fun to watch as well. And but I'm always worried about getting that decent blink timing on the shaker and maybe getting that first echo slam, or like when you hit 6, you kind of want to get a kill with echo slam somehow. It's kind of hard to make. But then also when you get the blink, the first echo slam has to be pretty impactful. Otherwise, you're gonna struggle a bit. And also when it's offlane, it's kind of hard to choose what to skill. I think it's all 3 skills are kind of important. You can't really skip one. So you kind of need a lot of levels, and if you get a late blink and you have a low-level Fissure, this hero is it's pretty bad now. But if you go high points in Fissure, you might not do as much later. So it's a bit awkward when it comes to skilling this hero, I think.
Yeah, you pretty much described a carry hero, just like a hero that needs a lot of gold really quickly for that blink dagger, needs to get those levels as well early on, but is often not going to be receiving that much farm priority, and that therein lies the risk of the Earthshaker. Now with the Trio Protector, at least ideally for Team Secret, they'll be able to give Earthshaker a little bit of a safer time here. So banking on a kind of a mediocre timing on that blink dagger is just fine if you're playing that Shaker. But Navi, they're going to pick up the Juggernaut, a pretty easy pick, I would say, with the Ogre Magi and the Magnus, so you get the Bloodlust and the Cleave, at least if you can't get your hands on the Troll Warlord, who was, of course, banned out by Team Secret. So Navi have a pretty nice shell to work around with this Juggernaut, but Secret, they have a Terrorblade. And as far as offensive tri-lanes go, Terrorblade, Rubik, Treant Protector, I would be scared of that. That is definitely a real possibility now for Secret.
Secret's turn to
yeah,
ban.
for sure. There's still Ricky and Boundary. No, actually, Ricky got banned. Okay, it was the first time. That's why I kind of miss him. But I was thinking Navi could actually pick those 4. That was not happening from the beginning. But so I'm just gonna skip what I was gonna say. Jugger is a nice pick though for Navi because it can be both mid and carry. And I'm not sure if Secret plays Terrorblade mid. It's been here and there. But I'm assuming it's gonna be MP, and I'm also thinking they're gonna go on aggro trail lane. I think that's the best decision for them, and then pick a mid that does well. Unfortunately, they're not gonna be able to choose the matchup. That's gonna be Navi because they have the last pick. So they kind of need to pick a more open mid lane that doesn't get countered. And I think Lina might be the best option.
10 seconds
Now,
remaining.
it's one of the strongest mid heroes, and it's a 5th pick, Lina. That doesn't
Team
happen that
Secret's
often.
turn to pick.
Well, Tinker ban out is... I mean, for Lina, there's usually just very few bad matchups, like 50% at worst, it seems. Tinker ban out, and that is the exact opposite of Alina. That's a Bristleback pick for Team Secret right there. Is it actually going to be Terrorblade mid?
If it is... I don't know what's happening. This is gonna be might be a carry shaker at this point.
10 seconds.
I feel like in Secret played Bristle a few times, but it's always been Kesu, right? I don't think anyone else played it, but I'm not sure. I cannot say that for certain.
Well, at least in a vacuum for Team Secret, this Bristleback is going to have a lot of stun support behind him, which is, of course, very nice when you're just looking to kind of extend the fights and get more stacks of your Quills and your Snot out there. Navi, though, oh, this is going to be a rough game. Navi pick up one of the best heroes to have versus the Bristleback in that Legion Commander, forces the Bristleback to show his face to you, so you can get all your damage done very cleanly. Is going to be, once again, Magnus given over towards Dendi, but I really like this last pick for Navi. I mean, I'm not really sure what this plan for Team Secret is, but hey, if you just look at the matchups, Legion is really great up against Bristleback, really good up against the Terrorblade, a lot of stuns that you could purge off as well. Seems like it's a little bit of surprise, actually, that Legion Commander got this far in the draft.
Yeah, definitely a bit unique there, being a lost pick, generally picked in the first phase, and maybe even more so banned in the first phase. So, pretty rare to see this. However, Secret lanes are gonna be Terrorblade mid, which I think is decent. Ogre Roam mid is gonna be a bit hard against a Terrorblade who has very high armor himself and also high damage. But I still think you can probably force meta and then be a bit passive and then zone other times. And I think that's gonna be a very nice matchup for Navi in the mid lane. I don't think it would have been nicer to have like a more pressure hero that with more kill potential maybe than a Jugger like Lina, for example, like I mentioned earlier. But Jugger is a pretty good pick, and I think they're gonna win the mid matchup. It's hard for Pop to do anything. However, actually, I wonder if they're swapping already actually. So they're changing it because I was thinking they should go the Terrorblade aggro, but the players are not matched up. But they swapped right before we got into the loading screen.
Oh, damn, man, I didn't see that one. I didn't see it load in either. Okay, well, we'll see. We'll see as we have to obviously go through the Team Tower Showdown. Can't miss that. But, it is, of course, up in the air as to what Secret want to do. Dendi on that Magnus still can go into really any lane they desire. So what do we have here? We have Mid1 picking up the... Wow, that is a sick bristleback skin. We have Keizu on the Shaker and MP on the Terrorblade. So, Terrorblade, fairly standard. Earthshaker, fairly standard. Ultimately just going to be a mid lane for the bristleback that Navi will have, again, pretty okay matchups with, but is it really going to be a Magnus versus Bristle mid lane? I have never seen this before, but I can only assume that with the Ogre and the CM who are willing to rotate in, that Bristleback should be having an okay lane with the Quill Spray and being able to get the CS that way, but not really going to be dominating it.
Yeah, I mean, this is some really interesting laning. I think that there might still be swaps incoming, though. Like, I'm not sure if this lanes has been settled by teams yet. I want to see Kessler starting at. Okay, he has a Quelling Blade, kind of unique. This hero is not the most common, so I'm kind of interested in how he lanes it and like what he buys at the start. It seems like he has a Quelling Blade. I'm not sure if there's like a specific purpose for this. It seems a bit odd, but I'm gonna be looking a bit again to that, see what he's doing. How are the boundaries on Eiko is contesting? I think he's gonna force a lift away.
The battle begins.
Well, I mean, it's get a lift away or get a bounty rune. Either one is good for him. He's gonna take a little bit of damage, but Ogre Magi, we all know, has infinite armor, so a couple of right clicks not really gonna bother him all that much. And it does seem like it's just going to be, at least from the Secret side, the lanes that we previously described. No offensive tri-lane here. And on the other end, Pycat going to go towards south lane as the Juggernaut. Has a good matchup versus Earthshaker, but Shaker should be just fine in this lane. Like, really, really high experience levels on this Shaker. And over towards mid lane, we already see Mid1 dodging a skewer out from Dendi. That is definitely a threat when you're talking about a mid lane mag. So up towards top lane, we have a little bit of a mess brewing. MP gonna go into Super Demon form onto the Ogre Magi. 8 armor. Is that strong enough? It seems like no! Oh, they can't get him. 8 armor is good enough, it turns out, and Ogre Magi, level 1, is unkillable. Confirmed.
Oh, Soneko, a math genius right there. For sure. That was calculated. I believe in Soneko right there. But that's pretty good. MP forced to use an early meta and not getting a kill, so that's gonna be a good lane later on for Navi when this meta ends, which is like 10 seconds. Mid lane, I think Mid1 is gonna do great here. Already then missing the skewer is kind of painful, doesn't have the shockwave point, so it's gonna be a bit hard for him, I think. They're kind of greeting Beaver is young lane, so I'm gonna see what he does later on. And bottom lane, it seems like Kess is doing fine. I thought he was gonna struggle a little bit because he went the Quelling Blade and not a Stout, so he can't trade. But it seems to be working out.
Oh, MP body blocking for Puppy. General has another overwhelming odds in 5 seconds, but I don't think that's even going to be enough to get the kill. They'll throw an Ignite towards the Absol, but that clarity was running out anyway, so it doesn't really do all that much. Everyone from Secret top lane will be just fine. The Quelling Blade on the Shaker definitely is interesting, but if you're just going to go in this matchup, you do have to worry about the spin. That is definitely a threat for the Shaker's life, but just being able to have that that extra damage. Oh, Puppy almost dying to the overwhelming odds, then almost dying to the neutrals, but we'll survive both of them. And we'll get the bounty rune in the end. Okay, nothing going to happen up towards top lane. Is going to let Shaker farm really, really well on this bottom lane. I mean, you were talking about getting experience on a Shaker and then kind of making these skill selections. He's going to have free experience. He's going to have almost complete free farm on this bottom lane. This is going to be like the ideal version of Earthshaker right here.
Yeah, I wonder what he's gonna... Oh, he's doing some cute stuff now. I want to see what he's doing here. He's definitely trying to do something.
He's going to lead the creeps towards some neutrals.
They're stuck though. Oh, is this the plan? I think he...
Chop, chop, and...
Yeah, did not work.
The creeps used to like slide off the fissure there, but you know what? He's down a little bit of mana. Still, creep waves are coming into his tower since it's just Pycat's Jug by himself, and you can't control all the pulls and whatnot. So it's a little bit of mana wasted, but it's far from the end of the world. It does seem like we're having a pretty even early game exchange where the mid lane is almost completely a wash, and well, for right now, General maybe not getting as much as the off lane of Secret, but he will soon have that secret weapon in the CM. Still farming the jungle right now, but hits that magic level 3 mark and is ready to, at least in theory, make some rotations, but you really do have to try to force out or bait out a Metamorphosis beforehand if you're going to go towards top lane, or try to soften up mid one before you help out Dendi, because Dendi's kind of under the gun here.
Yeah, it's... I think they're doing pretty well on Secret safe lane especially. I thought they were gonna do a bit harder, General not getting as much as I thought. And then they actually keeping up. I thought it was also gonna be a bit further behind. But what's getting me a bit worried is bottom lane. I feel like Kessa is trying to do weird stuff. I guess he's afraid of Beaver. That's kind of why he's doing this stuff, I think. Because he could definitely contest Pycat in lane. But the problem is if Beaver rotates once, he's dead. So that's why he's playing it this way. I'm pretty sure that's his reasoning at least. And there's a smoke gank from Navi to top lane, but General just tip it out after almost getting killed. So not sure if this is gonna result in anything.
And level 3 CM first nighttime phase. Just looking at the clock and nothing else, this is something that Secret are going to expect. And so far they've had zero interaction with that CM. Puppey now going to get hit with the Fire Blast and the Frostbite. It is layered a little bit, but it still will be enough to get them first blood. Drawn by Sineko and the Ogre Magi. So he is going to be pretty happy with that one. Puppey has been playing a little bit fast and loose. Kezu, we can see, is absorbing the spin from Pycat pretty well. And with the living armor, he is just fine on this bottom lane. And he is, as you said, jumping into action, knowing that there is a very, very small chance that CM jumps all the way from top lane, now straight to bottom. So it is definitely a cautious play made by Kezu, but it's not like it's going to hurt him all that much. He is facing up against Omni Slash, which is a very significant threat, but still, gold experience coming in pretty well for the Shaker of Team Secret.
I really wish he went on a max and Sean Totem build actually. Because if when he's 5 and Jagger is 5 and Jagger starts spinning, and then Kesu has like a pre-charged Sean Totem and then like 2 Sean Totem in Pycat's face, he could actually get a pretty hilarious kill potentially. But he's doing, I think he's doing the safe thing. So because he's avoiding the lane because he's afraid of Beaver. And speaking of that person.
Well, good luck up against this. One more spray will kill off the Crystal Maiden. Ward placed by his Team Secret.
Oh, Pycat! Is this the sickest game sense I've seen ever? Okay, never mind.
I mean, he was right in his assumption.
Yeah, but
not quite fast enough incoming, which would have been huge. Just getting that free Omni Slash kill on really anyone as a level 7 Juggernaut is quite nice, but we'll not get the Earthshaker, who is pretty darn quick right now, pretty survivable with his Tranquil Boots, and this is just going to be gunning straight towards that Blink. I don't really know if Pycat can do much about that right now. It does seem like they need an Ogre or a CM to show up on this bottom lane if they're really going to lock down the Shaker.
Yeah, it's not gonna, if you don't get the kill, you get no points, so a bit unfortunate there. Kesu still interesting if we're gonna see some variation. I think a lot of points in Aftershock is generally better. He's getting a good timing for the Blink, so I feel like he can lead the 2 points in Fissure, but could backfire later. So this is the most interesting thing to watch in my opinion. It's like the most off thing. And then Bristle as well. But Bristle seems more clear cut. It's gonna be a tank, he's gonna do whatever Bristle does. And he might get a Solar Crest, he might get a Vanguard, might get a Lotus Orb, but all of those are kind of common, even though the hero is not the most meta hero.
And on the Navi side, Legion Commander still having a little bit of rough engagement up towards the top lane. A little bit of a mid lane swap out now as Yapzor is going to try to leech his level 6. And Navi, they're going to lead the bottom lane devoid of heroes. Pycat might be jungling, figures KZoo, until he sees Pycat and Biver behind him. And this is exactly what he was scared of before. Spin is going to dodge the stun effect, but an Echo Slam is going to destroy the Crystal Maiden. And the Juggernaut's just going to leave. It's like, yo, peace. And KZoo is going to get a free kill. That is Aftershock value right there. With that Echo Slam, of course, and Navi, they definitely underestimated the Shaker there. And now mid one, going to chase after Pycat. Omni Slash and Spin, pretty darn powerful. And into the tower, they will call it quits. But that is definitely not how you stop an Earthshaker. If they did that 3 minutes ago, that probably would have worked.
I'm pretty sure that was some kind of misclick or miscommunication, because he definitely should have frostbited KZoo instantly. Was he afraid of the TP out, maybe? But you can't just walk into a Shaker when he's under a creep wave. You're gonna die if you have 500 HP at that point, so wasn't the greatest of decisions. Not the end of the world though. It's still a support, and mid one rotated, so it's not a huge kill. Net worth is still relatively even, and he's doing okay in levels. Japso, he didn't get so much mid. I saw him planning mid, but he didn't really gain that many levels.
Yeah, just one level for the Rubik, not even with the Arcane Boots farmed up there, so there's a short stint in the jungle for mid one, and maybe he'll just go right back in now that another set of Ancients have spawned up, and once again try to give that lane towards the Rubik, but seems like Navi, they're not going to leave well enough alone. Bottom lane, KZoo still is happily farming up this lane. This time has to face up against a new challenger in Dendi. Skewer into RP into a spin. It's another way of making that work, I suppose. Fissure, KZoo's just so defensively positioned right now. Even has mid one again right next to him. So rotation from Dendi. Gonna do very little. Though he does have an Iron Talon, he can just go straight into the jungle and really not skip a beat. It is still KZoo drawing a lot of attention onto this bottom lane.
That was a really weird rotation by Dendi. Like, how did he think that would end up? Like, he doesn't have Blink or anything, so he has to like walk in and RP KZoo and then skewer him out, and maybe skewer in RP, but that's like pretty hard to do. And then the Seeker could just TP in like several people and that could backfire. That was a weird rotation. I feel like he probably didn't think it was gonna end up, and probably just wanted to maybe force rotations and farm jungle and give Jugger and power and stuff like that. So it's gonna make now we're gonna rotate now. He got the power and Juggers. He's doing a little bit more than maybe Secret expects. And Faye is playing this very, very cocky, I would say even.
But it's level 7 Terrorblade. Usually you don't expect this build. He's gonna immediately Sunder, which will absorb the entire Omni Slash. Now Pycat, pretty much already dead, has to back off. That's exactly what MP was looking for just versus the Legion Commander. They will whiff a Fissure completely. KZoo still wandering in for an Echo Slam. Will hold it for right now. Not willing to use it up against General. Just wants to make a clean retreat, knowing that Echo Slam will do a lot of damage, but it certainly won't kill. There will be a lot of Navi heroes up towards top lane. They do draw out a lot of mana from that Terrorblade and that Sunder cooldown, but that was definitely not the plan. MP's kind of gambit in trying to kill off that Legion Commander with the Sunder. Working out pretty well to save his life, though Navi still looking to go in. Fissure, again, not going to do a lot except for stun the creep wave. Now that Ogre Magi is going to try to cut in from the back, but only with Biver to help him out. He's going to take an absolute beating here. Overwhelming Odds is going to return a lot of fire back towards Secret, but it's definitely not enough to save the Ogre. They'll shred him, as mid one is also going to make his rotation. Ultimately, like, losing the Ogre for that, though, isn't really a terribly huge deal, since Secret have been parked with now 5 heroes up on top lane for quite a long time now.
Yeah, they also, mid one actually secured the bottom tower before he TP'd, so basically perfect rotations from Secret. And General, how you're not getting out of this, right? I am pretty sure there's no way.
Smack him. One more Quill. There we go. General, at least in theory, can purge that off, but that would require a level of press the attack, which currently he does not have. So yeah, whatever Bristleback throws at you will stick for right now. TP was cancelled over in mid, and KZoo is gonna absorb an Omni Slash and a Fire Blast and a Spin. He does have stick charges, but the Spin does so much damage, trying to bait for mid one to come in. And, well, it didn't exactly work out the way he intended, so he'll just give a free one over to the Navi side, but the rest of his teammates in the meantime were pushing top lane. So I think that is still kind of okay for the Team Secret side, since they also have the Treant Protector. Living Armor will get the tower back up.
that might have been like a reason. Like he didn't want to die obviously, but he's like, okay, if I save this tower, it's worth me dying because we might get a counter kill, and it's such a valuable tower. And did he lose gold towards blink? He did, so it wasn't like efficient anyway. But it seems like he's gonna get it a very good timing still. Like it's 13 minutes and he almost picked up the blink. That's a very good timing for an Earth Shaker. So I think he's pretty okay with that overall.
Pretty much like 20-minute blink dagger on Shaker, and you're gonna be okay with that. Any earlier, and obviously you're going to be a lot happier. And at this point, like with 2200 gold, it's pretty much just locked up for him. Top lane still being pushed in by General mid one. This Bristleback has made quite a few rotations, and hasn't really gotten a lot off of those rotations necessarily, but still hasn't really dropped that much farm. Still on top of the net worth chart, just you know, blowing up jungle camps whenever he's jumping in between the lanes. Mid one with the Vanguard. Gonna go for a Solar Crest Shine next. A great item to have versus the Juggernaut and the Legion Commander. And just, you know, offensively and defensively, it really does it all for the Bristleback. Is still pretty much exactly where he wants to be. Perhaps MP not as farmed as he would really like, but with the farm on the Shaker, they could definitely just rally around a couple team fights and get this Terrorblade a little bit of blood. For right now, they're gonna smoke up and look for an enemy in the jungle. General will be that enemy. Lifted up into the clutches of the Super Demon MP. Reflection can give them even more tracking. They get the goo off, and General, well, will actually get a lucky mischance. And that might actually save him. They need one more shot. That mischance up the high ground from MP just cost them that kill.
That was clutch. Oh, Kessie got the blink. Oh, too bad. He couldn't commit there, I think. I think it would have backfired. But now he showed the blink, so Navi knows. I think they should have noticed it. It was... I definitely think they saw that, so... They probably know about Kessie's blink, which is pretty... It's not bad, but like now you showed your kind of timing, so now they can respond properly, and you position properly. Then you're not pushing lanes too greedily because you know that there's a blink shaker and stuff like that. So pretty unfortunate for Kessie there.
Dendi was pushing the bottom lane all the while. Very quiet performance from this Magnus, going for, you know, a standard enough build. Echo Saber after that Iron Talon, and Blink Dagger will soon be on the way. Echo Saber with Iron Talon is some pretty disgusting farm rate for this Magnus, so he's pretty much exactly where he wants to be. It does seem like, though, with 7k net worth, a big item in that Echo Saber, just quietly farming is not exactly what you want to do with the Mag. So he will just, you know, farm a little bit more towards that Blink Dagger, and we'll see what he's able to do with that. But for Secrets, it does seem like with this farm on the Bristleback, given how seemingly unkillable he is, can start rallying around him and maybe start looking for some fights, since they do have that Shaker with the Blink.
I'm surprised the Epicenter is not trying to steal this Bloodlust. It's so good on Bristle and Terrorblade. Can Navi trade towers? They've tried to trade towers for quite some time, but Secret are really adamant about protecting them and trying to heal them up. So I'm not sure if Navi either they commit everyone or they don't even try to kill a tower. That's a good ward from Secret. Might save him his life.
Pycat does have a level 2 Omni Slash, but Puppy's gonna split it with MP, but still will fall, and with a crit will get 2! Oh my god, level 2 Omni Slash does a lot of damage apparently. Echo Slam's gonna completely whiff up against the Blade Fury as well. Keizu doesn't really have that much more game up against his Juggernaut, decides to kill off the Healing Ward instead. Now the jump in with the taunt and the duel onto the Rubik will get them a clutch win as Pycat comes in for a third. And mid one, how the hell did he end up here? I assume this had to be Dendi. They definitely know about it, right? They don't really have any range damage though, so actually killing him off is perhaps a different story entirely. Take down the tower first, and now mid one trying to fissure him to glitch him down onto the low ground. It seems like they don't know about him, or they're just like leaving him up there.
I think they do. I'm not sure. This is so weird. This is so bizarre, actually.
They're just gonna go Roche, even though he's like 1,000 distance away. That's some serious disrespect right there, but he doesn't have a TP. I don't know where this Bristleback actually TP'd to first, but he doesn't have it to get down, so he's just stuck up there. No one has a Force Staff. No one has any way of glitching him down unless the Shaker is gonna find it finally, but...
He's gonna attempt. He's gonna attempt again.
Well, in the meantime, Navi, they slaughter Secret up on top lane. They essentially delete mid one from the game for a minute about and claim Roshan. Gonna jump in over towards the Rubik in mid, chop him down with Pycat. This Juggernaut showing up in a big way.
Oh, he's down. Oh, Kesu got it. That was pretty good actually. That could have been a disaster. I was so worried for Secret there. Like, if they lose the game because of that, straight up, that would be insane. But Kesu managed to get him down.
Mid one is gonna show himself. Navi though still picking up a tower, a ton of kills, and Roshan in as many minutes. And Secret just seems like they were definitely underestimated that Omni Slash from the Juggernaut. I don't think you or I figured that was going to be a kill either, but this Juggernaut...
I think that was luck as well. There was definitely luck involved. I think Secret played it. I think they made pretty good decisions there what they were doing, but Piker actually kind of lucked out and managed to kill both. So I feel a bit bad for Secret. That was definitely a bit of RNG involved.
Just being able to focus down MP first in the Omni Slash. Different dice rolls could have meant that you know, he kills off Puppy with the Omni Slash, and then MP just sunders Pycat, and then it's an even trade of 1-for-1. But hey, you know what? When you're dealing with RNG, obviously skill's a big factor there. So Pycat showing off what he can do on this hero. Either way, Secret still with a little bit of a disadvantage here. We haven't really seen this Blink Shaker show up to the game yet, but at the same time, we haven't really seen Dendi show up with his Blink Dagger either. So both teams still working with quite a few assets at their disposal. For right now, mid one with about 1 trillion armor is going to start bulldozing this bottom lane. Although here comes Pycat. Gotta respect that Juggernaut at this stage, especially with the maxed out in power, Manta-style, and more stats on the way. Still, mid one's kind of baiting here. How far away is Kezu? Close enough for a fissure. Blink Echo? No, they're just gonna let Pycat spin away. They force out a couple TPs, I guess that's something, but Secret playing this very cautiously on bottom.
You can't really commit for an Echo on an Aegis. You're probably losing the fight then. They are still sticking around though. This is pretty cocky. Do they feel like they're this strong? MVP is coming in here.
Gonna drop an Observer Ward mid one's. Gotta watch out for the duel. Loses a lot of his fireability if that's gonna happen. Oh, the Skewer back onto the Treant Protector. They find him. Echo Slam only lands onto the Ogre Magi. That's not good enough. They absorb the Omni Slash pretty good, but now Freezing Field dropped right in the middle. Biver's gonna get a full load off onto mid one, but he's a Bristleback. He just doesn't care. He's gonna get dueled up finally. Can they actually kill off this Bristleback? They won't be able to. With the RP, they finally will. Meantime, MP and Kezu, they take down the Juggernaut, but that's just his first life. Right with the Bristleback down means that they can't really fight anymore. MP gonna get a really nice Thunder off. Now gonna challenge Pycat with the Reflection, but still takes a lot of magical damage from that spin. Yapzor gonna return fire with the stolen Omni Slash. Now a stolen spin. Yapzor showing up to the fight. Spin now onto Dendi, continuing the damage train as Yapzor's gonna get a Fade Bolt kill. Kezu has another fissure soon. MP is still very healthy somehow in this fight, and they're looking for Seneko. They caught a glimpse of him. Jump forward, looking for the stuns. Fissure is going to stun and wall perfectly onto Seneko, and Secret, they turn it around because of all heroes. The Rubik decides that this is going to be the fight where he is going to show off what he can do. General's going to arrive, but he can't do anything by himself. Yapzor carrying Secret through that engagement.
Yeah, so well played by Secret. Yeah, I mean, honestly, I think it was mainly Yapzor, and I think Kesu had a really nice play at the end as well. Also, he whiffed the Echo on Pycat because Pycat got Omni Slash off in time, but he actually perfectly timed the Fissure off the Omni Slash. He insta-stunned Pycat there, which kind of resulted in Navi not being able to close out the team fight, and then Yapzor with an amazing performance at the end as well. That would look like it was going to be disaster for Secret. I thought they were going to lose 4 if not 5 people, but managed to turn it around in a pretty amazing fashion. And Navi might be getting a bit worried. Not sure. Okay, so General got the Shadow Blade, really wants the Silver Edge against the Bristle later on. Might be holding it for a bit because Blade Mail is pretty good here as well. But I wonder if Navi wants to play a bit defensive now because they lost the fight when they had an Aegis. That's kind of similar to last game where they started losing fights and could only really manage when they had an Aegis.
Oh, Yapzor tries to make a cute play onto Seneko, gets Omni Slash, and obviously can't steal that one. They're still gonna show up, try to drive a couple heroes away. Dendi with the Blink RP Skewer at the ready is going to find, unfortunately, only the Shaker, who does not have his ultimate, so they're gonna lose him. Not a huge loss there from Secret as far as continuing the fight, but they will not look to do so. Navi just going to find a couple of free picks over in the mid lane and yeah, kind of, after all said and done, make it a little bit more of an even exchange. across the map. Really, really brave play there from the Rubik. He had a Blink Dagger. He's feeling really good after the last fight. And then gets Omni Slash in the face. Feels pretty bad, man. But it does seem like Navi, even though they did lose that fight, maybe it just requires a different angle for Dendi. Like that initiation on the Puppey was decent, but the RP follow-up was rather underwhelming. Puppey scouting on top. I think you will see the Lincoln Sphere, but that's about it.
Yeah, he got a Lincoln on Pickat, which is I'm really unsure about the show. I understand that he wants to be able to counter Thunder, but on the other hand, there's like Bristol can just goo him and then it removes, you know. So there's like, I'm not 100% sold on this. I understand the reasoning behind it, but I'm not sure if this was the choice, honestly. I think maybe you need to rely on Lotus Orb from your teammates. However, there's no good Lotus Orb carriers. Usually, maybe the offlaner gets Lotus Orb in these cases, but there's a Legion in your team, so he's not really suitable for that. So this could be great or could backfire a bit. I'm not really sure. So we're gonna keep an eye out on that. But I feel like Secret are struggling a little bit with one thing, which is, I think it's a classic Bristle problem, where he's kind of kited and ignored and doesn't do enough, because he doesn't have a way to force people to focus him other than just run straight in, and then like it's pretty hard to be in the perfect position where you're close enough to your team but not too deeply committed. So you have to be in like some super sick sweet spot, and even then there's like Skewer and stuff, and then Jewel is also great against that. So it's pretty hard, I think, for Bin1 to have the performance he needs to.
Assault Cuirass will definitely help that in the future. Quick blink out from Yapzor will keep him safe from any dual shenanigans from Navi. Just getting a Hyperstone component from the Bristleback definitely will increase his threat by quite a bit, especially when you focus someone down with that shine effect of the Solar Crest. But for right now, just getting the Plate Mail is a super tank, but is just not worth Navi's time. What is worth Navi's time is going towards mid lane. Pycat with the cleave and be destroying this tower in a hurry. Minor split push from Secret, but nothing really relevant in the grand scheme of things. A little bit of up momentum down towards bottom, and with the line drawn from Sonico, it seems like they are looking for a secondary tower here. Pycat's going to jump back. You can deal with this bottom lane, but now for Secret, I would not be surprised at all if they just started rallying the troops. They did get a glimpse of everyone moving up here for Navi. And they know that Pycat just left, so now's the best time for Secret to start an engagement, and oh no, not the CM. Well, she's super dead. She did use her Midas though, and she has a Midas, there's also that. But it is going to be a free pick for Secret.
That's pretty, I think that's a very good trade for Navi, honestly. They have the 3 core farm with power. They make Secret rotate 3 and 4 people to kill a CM. That's pretty valuable for Navi. They're definitely gonna get a better network exchange for that. Mid one is getting Daisy, like you mentioned earlier. I want to see what his next item is. I've seen some Ags Bristle, but it doesn't seem like the best game. I'm not sure. I'm assuming press attack removes the goo completely. That should be the interaction. I'm not certain though. So
yeah,
and then there's spin and stuff like that. So it doesn't seem like the best choice ever. So I'm probably not gonna see that. Kesu got a 4-step going Shadow Blade. No Aghanim's from him. And not too much interesting stuff going on. Puppey got the Midas earlier, Beaver got the Midas, and pretty standard item choices, except the Lincolns on Pycat, I'd say.
So far hasn't done anything for him. Minor regeneration, whatnot, but yeah, it's whatever so far. Mostly because there's just been no fights. But the Assault Cuirass is done on the Bristleback. Now Omni Slashing him, dueling him. You may get rid of that passive Bristleback skill, but you still won't be able to get through 30-something odd armor from the Bristleback with damage reduction, with evasion. It's definitely going to be tough. And with the Vanguard, if you're talking about increasing your threat, an Abyssal Blade is a very easy build-up for the Bristleback, very logical given how he's already started, but it does seem like he just needs to get some sort of fat damage item. And maybe that's not going to be what he really wants to do, leave that towards the Terrorblade, who's obviously going to go pure damage almost every single game. But 500 gold, Bristleback is working with quite a lot right now, and is going to see Roshan. Navi, I think they just scouted this as well, so both sides should know that Rosh is the next big thing.
Yeah, so a lot comes down to this Roche now. I think this is one of the, might be the biggest fight in this entire game, and the vision advantage, it's pretty lackluster for both teams, I guess.
Winkins save Juggernaut over in mid from a telekinesis. It's something.
I mean, it's kind of nice in that, like, you can feel a bit safer, so there's definitely some merit for the item. He wants this butterfly so badly right now. They do not want to fight Secret, but Secret are forcing it right now. This could be a pretty good timing.
Oh, the smoke is going to be blown mostly on General. They'll jump in towards Dendy instead, stealing power, and Dendy's going to be focused down. General is going to pick a fight with MP. Bad idea, dude. So Nico obviously showing up to help out, and now is going to regret his decision as well. MP feasts to get a double kill. The rest of Navi, Pycat, Biver, thinking about going for Roche with a double damage rune. Normally what you want to do, exactly, but now they have to sack it and give it over towards Secret. And that is a perfectly forced fight, and YapzOr got away with quite a nice spell to steal. You don't really need that much in the way of damage items when your Bristleback is empowered, when MP is empowered. With an Aegis, this is actually a pretty big opening here for Secret.
Yeah, that was... Oh, Navi made a split-second call to fight that, then they blinking in to help out, and then also General could just run out with Shadowblade, but they made a split-second call to fight, and that cost them a lot this game. It's looking very bad now. MP got Aegis, he used meta at least, so there's something there, but this tower is going down very fast. They have RP when they spawn, so that's their timing.
Pycat gonna spin, just trying to soften up MP. They do Fire Blast, Bristleback is gonna show his back now to General, lift him up, just to try to disengage. And it looks like that should be successful, though General has another blink right now. Diving in that far will be awfully risky. He is still invisible right now. I don't think he's spotted by anyone until he jumps in, looking for MP, but the Mana Style is going to get MP a little bit distant. Still overwhelming odds is there. Sunder is going to be casting out. General has to turn tail and run. Off in the back, mid one is distracting a full 3 heroes. He's just driving them away, forcing them to try to attack him, daring them to do so, but they're not going to take that bait. YapzOr will fall as Pycat is going to get his Omni Slash off. Now picking a fight with MP, jumping from Dendy. RP completely off the mark. MP already used the Sunder though. Where is his backup? Hurricane Pike another 5 seconds, but he will get nuked down. The slow provided to him by the Crystal Maiden. Secret, Kezu and mid one, they effectively drove away a couple of heroes, but ultimately Navi were able to get around these two and get to the soft underbelly of the Terrorblade. The damage over in mid kills off a tier 3, which is going to open up shrines, but melee racks will survive.
Yeah, some pretty good defense from Navi. I think Secret, they really wanted the racks, and they were killing it really fast, but they kind of realized they can't, and then they had no good way of escaping. Really good. I mean, I thought then they actually played really well at the start. He was about to get stunned, hot picky B, and they could blink forward to kill Terrorblade, but with the RP, which was very unfortunate. But it didn't really matter actually, because they got the kill, so, you know, that's at least something positive. And I think Navi can defend the shrines very well, so I don't think it's the end of the world that they lost after tier 3. Terrorblade is very good at killing shrines, so you're sending illusions, but I think they can deal with it pretty well.
Navi do complete this Juggernaut's Butterfly. General really struggling to find some opportunities in that last fight. It does seem like this Legion Commander really starting to decrease in her effectiveness as long as she's not able to find the Bristleback, and that is going to be kind of what she's teching for. As you mentioned, Silver Edge and the duel makes Bristleback at least vulnerable for the Navi side, but General, if he's not doing that, is going to be not really providing all that much right click damage for Navi. It seems like most of the damage, if not all the damage, is going to be coming out of Pycat with the Butterfly and the Empower and the Bloodlust, all of which is maxed out at this point. He is hitting very, very hard, but it seems like he might just be the only person on Navi who's hitting very hard. Although, Dendy has something to say about that. Orchid on the Magnus. He could start building into some serious DPS as well, and that just might be unexpected for Secret.
Oh, if Navi commits here, Secret are not in position to defend this right now. But they are, it's too risky, yeah, for sure. This is such a risky high ground attack, and they at least force everyone from Secret back, so they know that Secret are here and they can then split up and farm, which is a pretty common play nowadays that you play like that, and it's pretty good as well. Unfortunately, they did not get the tier 3, so they cannot kill shrines. And, I'm not sure what team wanna force it right now. I feel like both teams are very scared of fighting.
As well they should. The RP, the Omni Slash, these X Factors for Navi, definitely meeting the impact of a Trim Protector or a Shaker. They'll find the Treant, speaking of. Skewer him back, Orchid should pop him, and it will. And that's the damage that Magnus can do. Granted, it is just a support Treant Protector with no defensive items whatsoever. But the small amount of slows from the Skewer, from the Echo Saber, just the raw damage output with the Empower, he's hitting 200 a pop. That is no small amount from a Magnus, who usually is just a pure utility hero. This game is going to build into some pretty significant damage. Now, killing off Treant isn't really going to impact Secret all that much, but it is going to still force them to go back into the base, knowing that they can't really take a fight until they have everyone grouped up. So Navi have the run of the map, at least for right now.
Yeah, I wonder how much thought Pop took into that, because he knows that there's no Roche, so if he dies, there's no... Navi can't Roche, you know, and Navi can't really high ground, so I think he was kind of like, okay, I need to ward deep. So and if I die here, there's nothing they can gain. Like, they don't really gain anything except a kill on me. So if that is the line of thought, he's very smart, which he is for sure. So I would be very interested to know, like, if he fought that far, and can't really ask him though. But it's pretty interesting how it didn't matter at all, almost him dying.
Just getting some gold. The potential benefit of scouting out a couple of heroes, potentially smoking up or seeing a new item or something like that, is still going to end up giving Navi a little bit of gold, and onto the Magnus no less, who is going to be building into some relevant DPS. But again, it does seem like it's just a kill for kill's sake and not that much else. So a valuable scouting move perhaps by Team Secret. Navi now gonna group up around bottom lane. Secret just now pick up an Abyssal on Bristleback.
Abyssal, yeah.
Yeah, so that's
pretty big item.
It's a pretty big item to keep hidden as well. Just that surprise stun. Pycat is gonna see it. They'll run into each other, but there goes the Lincoln Sphere effect. Nasal Goo, and a pretty nice trash spell to throw in towards that Lincoln's. Puppey looking for Dendy, will root him down. There is a lot of help here though for the Magnus. Is just gonna hold his BKB. The Secret will kind of call Navi's bluff.
I think both teams were so scared to like really commit. The Puppey kind of overgrowth to hoping that they can kind of commit, but there's no heroes that can. I don't think there's any hero on Secret that can commit on a hero like that to try and. There's not enough damage, you know, except MP, but MP can't just walk and start attacking a Magnus when he's that close to his team. And they smoked up behind Pycat here, so and Secret are defending. They're smoked up as well. Oh no, they just witness, but
Legion Commander is in the area, jumps in for the duel onto the Bristleback. How much damage can they actually do? It seems like an irrelevant amount. He's just not dying, although finally will go down. Will get sundered by MP. Still taking a lot of DPS here with the Abyssal Blade. Will survive. Oh, Dendy whiffs another RP. No, Dendy, why? Off in the back, they will isolate and kill off Puppey, but now the chase is on. Secret gonna jump forward. Fissure onto 2. Not gonna do all that much for Keizu, who's kind of stuck in the trees. They're gonna instead try to go for the Magnus, lift him up in the reflection, and with the right clicks from MP, will take him down. And ultimately, it's only one hero to go down apiece. That was a clutch move from that Terrorblade there, and finally Navi land that proper counter, use the duel, just to enable that Bristleback damage, but it's still just not enough. He's still with Vanguard, AC, and Solar Crest.
I think Juggernaut was stunned for the beginning of the duel. I think if he managed to get off the Omni Slash instantly, he would have died even though the swap came out. But another missed RP, and it's kind of becoming a trend almost this game, where he's needing to hit his RPs, and that's the game-winning ultimate in the fights as well. Generally, it's like the initiation to force like defensive sunders and stuff. You know, like if MP uses sunders to save mid one, that's like already a one duel in a way. But then Puppey can't really follow up here. Like he's missing I think he missed 3 RPs in a row actually, if I'm not wrong. So
something like that.
Needs to step up for sure if Navi wants to win this game. But they're still in a good position. They're in a. I think overall the game is in their favor, but they're just missing that one component in the team fights.
Well, with no RP, there is also no Echo Slam in the last fight for Secret. Shaker really struggling to find a good access point in, since everyone in the front was magic immune, and Shaker at the tail end of it, Fissure into no follow-up. Again, there's not much that he can do, so there are still a lot more assets to be had here for both sides. But it is kind of troubling to see Dendi have this much trouble. Like, at least he's working with a lot of damage right now. He can just slap an Orchid on someone, pop a BKB, and start right-clicking people, and still have an impact on these fights. But he's going to go for Refresher Orbs so he can, maybe land some of these RPs. Still not there yet, but if Dendi keeps playing like this, it will be, as you said, really difficult for Navi to come together in these engagements and actually claim a win. But still, they're working with a little bit of a net worth lead right now. Roshan's going to be up soon, though. And for both sides, they are going to be scouting the pit. A ton of illusions. Secret want to fight this. Navi may trickle in one at a time. That's really risky.
I think the biggest thing for them is, like, if he, like, you can miss RPs, but like if you, as long as you like can forget about it and like just keep playing, like you don't even remember missing RPs, you like play normally, then I think he's gonna be able to perform here. But if he's like always think, oh, I missed my last RP, like I need to land the next one, and like I need to, then it's gonna become a very hard game for Navi, I think. So, but he's a very experienced player, so I think he's gonna be able to keep his head cool here.
Yeah, Dendi's been around forever. He's played in the biggest of stages, and he's played Magnus a ton, so all evidence would suggest that Dendi should be able to contribute an RP to the next engagement, but hey man, 2-3 missed RPs. The track record, at least in this game, not really working out, but either way, Navi gonna stick around that Roche pit. Terrorblade Illusion's gonna filter in. Pycat is gonna slaughter that one, my god. He has a fresh MKB now, this Juggernaut, so he is working with an absolute truck ton of DPS. Although if he gets stun locked by, say, a Blink Echo Slam, it may just not matter. Keizu does have Invis, Shadow Blade. They do see Pycat. Are they going to jump? Not enough heroes in position. It would have been just Keizu committing in. Oh, they're going to jump into Pycat. MP. He's going to lose most like half HP just from nothing. Gets a reflection now. That will destroy Pycat's health pool. Fissures there as well. Mid one. Going to chase forward. Looking to force some sort of reaction here from Navi, but they are playing it cool. They will let Pycat back off and commit pretty much nothing to that engagement.
Yeah, they had some kind of plan there with initiating on Pycat. I'm not sure what it was. It didn't end up being how they wanted to, but definitely are not afraid to kind of try and blow Pycat up. They have a lot of lockdown if they can manage to get Earthshake. I mean, Earthshake is like the hero with the most lockdown in the game, more or less. Pycat is destroying this Roche right now.
Mid one is going to show himself off. He doesn't have to worry about that duel. Will show his back right now. There's the duel, and the Omni Slash still bouncing through. Once again, the Sunder is there to get him a little bit extra HP, but he's still taking so much damage. Where's the help here for mid one? MP is going to get up onto the hill. They'll overgrowth fail it. There's the RP that we needed. Dendi comes in huge with an RP onto 3. Will kill all 3 of those heroes. And the 4th, Keizu, was taken care of by General. I assume dual win? No, not quite, but Dendi was saving all those RPs for that one right there, and now Pycat is just going to blow up the mid lane, and oh no, what are you doing here, Rubik? Had a TP scroll, decided to blink over the trees, and now hit with the Ignite, silenced. He is fairly screwed here, and he's going to make it a full 5-man wipe for Navi. This might just be the game. No one has buyback.
Single buyback. And Navi, do they know? Pycat is heading for throne. I think they know actually, somehow. But yeah, oh, they were gonna buyback actually. So, one buyback, but there's a duel up as well. If he gets close again, get duel and blown up, I am pretty sure.
There's just too much damage here. Navi, Pycat is just way too farmed with the Empower, with the steroids, that even if mid one walks into it right now, no one cares. Just focus down the Ancient, and they're going to claim a win.
Wow. What a finish. That ended in 1 RP, and then game over.